And it's the most prestigious honor on the mountain, and we've got a number of really wonderful people being honored. Ellen Conklin, Roy Brownie, Julianne Warren, Gail McCarthy, and Sharon Rizzo. And many of them are connected to, in different ways, to the school district. So it's really an honor to have them honored by our Rotary Club and being associated with that.
Very good, thank you, Mr. Harris. I wanted to report that we, last Friday night, I went to the City Pack dinner, held up the Orange Show. It was a huge success. The long run was there. We haven't seen a final tally on the dollars yet, but we know that we've exceeded the minimum that we were handed by the league to raise, and just had a great time. The place was packed, and it was a great event. And then Wednesday, I leave with Councilman Herrick to go to the legislative days in Sacramento. I'm looking forward to meeting with some of our legislatures and talking to them about some of the needs that we have as a city. So we will carry that through. But with that, I'm going to move on to public communications. I did receive one card. Public comment is permitted only on items not on the posted agenda that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. Please note that the state law prohibits the City Council, Fire Protection Board, or successor agency from taking any actions on items not listed on the agenda. There is a 3-minute three-minute maximum time limit when addressing the respective boards during this period. And I do have a card, Mr. James Morgan.
Good evening, Council. My name is James Morgan. I am the treasurer of Save the Mountain 2012. We have a conglomerate of other voting citizens that are trying to be more politically active. We believe that the valley is at a crossroads. We also believe that the valley needs to be more unified and the valley needs a new direction. So we're going to try to accomplish this through 3 different things. We're going to try to keeping voters informed of the issues that affect them, increase voter registration, and increase voter turnout on election day. We have a little slogan. It's the solution is people doing their part, and we were more welcome to take any comments or anything from you guys. We have a website, SaveTheMountain2012.com. Got some papers here for you guys to hand out. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. I don't have any other public comment cards, so we'll move on to the consent calendar. Yes, Mr. Matthew.
Unusual, but we'd like to hold for a brief discussion on 1.10 regarding fireworks. We have a small mathematical correction.
Yeah, 92. Discussion period 1.6.
We were 2 items.
There are 2 items in 1.6 today.
Not 1.2.
No, 1.6.
And I'd like to pull 1.8.
1.8. Anything else?
I'll move the balance.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those no? Motion carries. All right, let's go to 1.6. Mr. Harris.
In 1.6, section 2 for items, and attachment 2, which is a negative declaration, I need to abstain from that as just an abundance of caution, since I have done business with Bear Valley Electric, and this specifically mentions that as part of the declaration.
Very good. Is there a motion on 1.6?
Second.
We have a motion second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
And
opposed?
abstain on the second portion.
And abstain, that's one abstention. 1.8, Mr. Fred.
Yes, I just have a question about this expenditure. I know that we have delayed our village streetscape improvements because of the questions from the Department of Finance, and I'm wondering whether the replacement of the lights was part of that project or is now being done separately? And are we putting those new lights in the old light standards? I didn't understand from the staff report what was actually happening.
Okay, so originally it was part of the original project out there, but right now, given the uncertainty that we're dealing with, we're willing to walk away from the grant opportunity that is presented to us. So at this point, we're moving forward with this grant opportunity in hopes that everything will vet itself out and we'll get a project to move forward with. If not, I have come up with a plan B, and it's not a pretty plan B, but I have come up with a plan B that will incorporate the purchase of these lights.
Okay, so will you be upgrading the existing lights if we can't move forward with the construction project?
That is part of the plan B at this point. Again, we're still working out the details, whether they can actually be upgraded. That's the other part of that whole puzzle. Or do I replace those specific lights on the street side with LED lights? So that so I'll have similar heads, but it'll be just LED. So those are the details that we're still working out at this point. But again, it's just a matter of figuring out whether we actually have to go to a plan B. And so those details are actually being worked out. We have a manufacturer looking into whether we can actually replace those in the internal parts with LEDs, or we have to actually go with a brand new single head.
And then would they be salvageable if we eventually are able to do the construction project and replace the entire light?
That's probably, yeah, that probably would have to happen at that point. We'd have to go to the other LED and then work on that piece, whether we can actually flip that. It's upright as opposed to, yeah, so those are details at this point.
So it sounds like it's still up in the air, but you don't want to give up the grant opportunity if there is a possibility that the village construction project can go forward.
Without a doubt. Again, the federal grant source is at a point where they are saying, do you want to go forward or not? That's why we're making the forward commitment to say, yes, we do want to go forward. And we have contemplated to use this part of the Village Renaissance Plan. But if in fact we're unable to do that and know that by the mid part of the summer, we'll be able to adapt.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll move the approval of 1.8.
We have a motion, there's a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those no. Motion carries. 1.10, Mr. Matthew.
Yes, there's an inconsistency between the staff report and the attachment. It's a $1,000 difference. Mr. Usue had requested $52,000, including the slight enhancements to the barge and the erection of it. Therefore, the staff report should have been for an approval up to $52,000, not $51,000. Again, the same fundraising effort will be deployed as past years, the Chamber of Commerce being our partner in that regard. So I would ask you to consider it as $52,000, not $51,000.
Very good. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question from Mr. Matthew. We discussed some time ago about the modification of the Chamber's contract to specifically provide for their duty to solicit contributions for this project, and I'm wondering whether the Chamber contract got modified to do that.
It has not been modified as IAA Chair and Vice Chair, Dr. Harris and Vice Chair Herrick and I met with the Chamber to reinforce that 2.5 months ago. We contemplate doing that once we've resolved the building, the part of the lot for the rocks and the agreement that we have with the Oversight Board. So once that's concluded and we have the property as a realty that can be deployed within the agreement with the Chamber, then we'll actually have that as part of the work effort. But they've already taken on that responsibility.
Yeah, I asked that question because I spoke to Rachel Wade, the new executive director, and she didn't know anything about it.
Because she's new. She's been
Right.
for 3 weeks. And Marlene Kane and the board of directors are the people that we met with before Rachel had joined. So we'll spend time with Rachel, but against the board directive that we had with, again, Councilman Herrick and Harris.
So, but the Chamber clearly understands the role in this.
Yes, they do.
Very good.
And actually, I was able to speak with Ms. Wade last Thursday afternoon, and she apologized for not being able to make it. I think it's her intention. She mentioned to be at future council meetings, but she had a previous appointment before she was hired on in that role to attend to this evening, but she appreciated all the background I gave her on how we got to this point and our MOU with the Rotary and how the Chamber became involved in our integral part of collecting sponsorships. In fact, she said a letter was going out this week to local businesses, and she kind of has her hit list together, so to speak, and she is hitting the ground running. So I think that they are on board to at this point.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Herrick. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Oglenolte. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those no, motion carried. SA.1, successor agency discussion. Update on successor agency matters. Mr. Matthew.
Before you tonight, in your capacity as successor agency, is both an update and an authorization related to the financial schedule obligations called ROPS. Lila's going to make a presentation, give you an overview, and also to allow you to have information regarding the oversight board and the process from here. Lila.
Okay, thank you. Successor agency chair and members, the item before you this evening is an update on two items, one related to the Village Renaissance construction project. The second is to talk a little bit about the oversight board, and then finally, the only action that we're asking you to take this evening is related to the recognized obligation payment schedule. That's a full mouthful there. There's two ROPS, as they're affectionately known as. One, we're asking for a revision for the period ending June 30th, 2012. And then the second resolution is for the ROPS for the period 6 months following, that begins July 1 and would end at the end of December. Relative to the Village Renaissance project, as we were all stunned, really 2 days before we were going to have the groundbreaking ceremony, we got a phone call from the California State Department of Finance that merely indicated that they were going to be looking at and were questioning the expenditures related to the construction contract for the project. They indicated at that time that their concern was relative to the date that the contract was executed, but that was all that was communicated. Said that there would be a formal notification sometime thereafter. Well, it's been almost a month later and we haven't heard anything back from them. So our expectation is that we won't hear anything from them until after we go through this formal process to approve the revised obligation payment schedules, and we submit that to the oversight board for approval. And then once we get that, and we actually submit it to the Department of Finance, then that's when I would figure that if we're going to hear from them, that's when we will hear. But we haven't heard anything yet so far, and so we're